Hello everyone, my name is Anna and welcome to my world. Today we will visit the infamous DMZ. But before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. The Korean Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, is 4 kilometers wide and divides the Korean peninsula in half. It sits on the 38th parallel. We booked the Panmunjeom DMZ combined tour, which takes us to the observation deck, 3rd tunnel of aggression, and the JSA, where the blue buildings are located. We booked our tour using Klook. Klook offers discounted rates all year round. Check out the link in the description box for more details. A visitor declaration is required to be signed before the start of the tour. It basically states that you're entering hostile area and no one is responsible for accidents, injury, or death. By the way, children under the age of 10 are not allowed to go on the DMZ tour. Did you know that the highest paid South Korean actor of 2020 was stationed in the DMZ during his military training? Yes, Soo-Hyun was a soldier in the DMZ. You can try on uniforms and have your picture taken before the start of the tour. I think Andy is ready for the tour to begin. Before we leave for the DMZ, I want to add some important things. First, you must bring your passport for the tour because it will be checked by Army personnel. Adhere to the dress code. North Korean soldiers take pictures, and these pictures may be used for propaganda. And finally, tours can end unexpectedly at any time if tensions arise at the border. It takes 2 hours to get from Seoul to the DMZ. You can see multiple outposts along the highway because on the other side of the Imjin River is North Korea. The first stop is at Imjin-gak Park. It was built for the people from both sides of Korea who were unable to return to their hometown because of the division of Korea. The Freedom Bridge is a former railroad bridge used to repatriate POWs and soldiers returning from North Korea. A steam locomotive is on display with over 1,000 bullet holes. The Imjin-gang Bridge originally had 2 routes. One was restored while the other one stands destroyed. The red circles are bullet marks. The Unification Park has monuments dedicated to peace. The pond is in the shape of the Korean peninsula, and every year, South Koreans bow down to their family in North Korea as a sign of respect. The next stop takes us to Dorasan Station, the station used to connect North and South Korea. It has been restored with occasional freight trains leaving for the north and returning with goods. Trips to the north are intermittent, depending on the North Korean government. It has become a symbol of an eventual Korean unification. The station is used by tourists coming from Seoul to visit the DMZ. The Dora Observation allows viewers a glimpse of North Korea.
It's North Korea. We're in the DMZ.
Let's take a closer look at Kaesong, the southernmost city of North Korea. It has a population of around 380,000 as of 2019 and is a light industry center for the DPRK. Light industry cities are more consumer-oriented than business-oriented. Back in the 80s, the South Korean government erected a very tall flagpole, flying a flag weighing almost 300 pounds. The North Koreans' reply was an even taller flagpole that flew a flag double the weight of the South Korean flag. The next stop is the 3rd tunnel of aggression. It is one of the 4 known tunnels under the border between North and South Korea. It was designed for a surprise attack on Seoul that can accommodate 30,000 soldiers per hour. The incomplete tunnel was discovered in 1978. Videos and pictures are not allowed inside the tour of the tunnel. We're back on the bus, And there's a checkpoint ahead before crossing into the Demilitarized Zone. The DMZ was created in 1953 as a meeting point at the Joint Security Area, or JSA, in Panmunjeom. The famous UN Blue buildings where negotiations take place are located in the JSA. The Freedom House is on the opposite side of North Korea's Panmunjom Pavilion. The building hosted the meeting between Trump, Kim Jong-un, and Moon Jae-in on June 30, 2019, which was 2 weeks before we went. There are places where pictures and videos are not allowed. The tour guide informed us of these locations and was constantly monitoring the group. We will disembark at the Freedom House and make our way to the blue buildings. Finally, I get to see the iconic blue buildings. I failed to mention earlier this was our second time to take this tour. Unfortunately, the JSA part of the tour was closed to the general public when we went in 2017. We're at the Blue Bridge. You may be thinking, blue buildings, blue bridge. Even the official residence of the South Korean head of state is known as the Blue House. What's with the color blue? According to the Colors in Korean Life and Culture exhibit at the National Folk Museum of Korea, the color blue signifies life and hope. This bridge is not where prisoner exchanges are made. That bridge is known as the Bridge of No Return. President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un walked on the Blue Bridge and had a 30-minute conversation on one end of the bridge. The bench where the two Korean leaders sat is off limits to visitors, but you can take pictures and video from afar. A pine tree was planted using soil from North and South Korea. The stone plaque reads, "Peace and prosperity are planted." We're back at the blue buildings and we're about to go inside. The conference room of MAC, Military Armistice Commission, straddles the Korean border, so one half is in South Korea while the other half is in North Korea. The soldier taking us around will give you some information in just a few seconds.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to C2. This is where general level officers talk between the UNZ and the KPA. The table in the middle represents the MDL, Military Demarcation Line, and on the table you're going to see microphones. They record everything in here 24/7 a day. Now behind me you're going to see a doorway that leads into North Korea. You go through that door, again you're going to be in North Korea, and I won't be able to get you back, you're stuck. Now, whenever you guys go to take pictures, do not crowd that area. So again, feel free to take pictures at this time. If you want to ask me anything, feel free to. And again, you guys are still in South Korea. Where we are, we're in North Korea. So please join me in North Korea.
And we're about to take a casual, leisurely walk into North Korea. You can see the border from the window, the spot where the historic meeting of these two leaders took place only 2 weeks before our visit.
Behind me is the south. And this is the north.
Behind door number 1 is North Korea. And, like what the soldier said earlier, they may not be able to get you back if you walk through those doors. What a neat experience. I can finally say I've been to North Korea. The tour also takes us to the JSA Visitor Center. The Visitor Center is where visitors are given a 20-minute presentation of the history of the DMZ and then briefed on the rules in the JSA before the start of the JSA tour. After the JSA tour, Visitors can visit the museum on the second floor. It also has a souvenir shop and a lavatory. The axe murder incident happened in 1976. A group of soldiers from South Korea and the US were trimming a poplar tree which was blocking a UN checkpoint and observation post. A North Korean soldier asked the group to stop because the tree had been planted by Kim Il-sung. The soldiers ignored the command, and after a few minutes, fighting ensued, killing 2 US Army officers. 3 days later, Operation Paul Bunyan was carried out and cut the entire tree, leaving only a stump. South Korean President Moon Jae-in was one of the soldiers who participated in Operation Paul Bunyan. This ends our visit to one of the most dangerous strip of land on Earth. But even in the presence of danger, the DMZ still attracts 1.2 million visitors annually. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell. From the Korean Demilitarized Zone. See you again next time. Goodbye!